suspect!
Coming to get you, Bobber.
Hi guys, my name's Barry and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Halloween Ends, and this is going to be the spoiler review. So if you haven't seen the movie yet guys and you don't want this movie spoiled for you, then definitely look away now because there's going to be a lot of spoilers in this one. If you're still watching guys, by this point you already know what happens in the movie, so we're going to get straight into it. We won't really talk about how this, well, the main part of the story because we already know that. Let's just get right into it. At the very beginning, you've got Corey Cunningham who babysits a little boy, and the little boy accidentally dies. Now he doesn't just accidentally die. Corey actually kills him by accident. To be honest, he was a little shit, to be honest. He locked Corey in this cupboard and Corey was trying to get out and he was a bit frantic, to be honest. And he kicked the door, and just as the parents came back from their Halloween party that they were at, the little boy gets knocked over the banister in the top flight of this big house and he falls flat on his face and dies instantly. I think that scene was very haunting, and I'll talk about it more in the review, but there's just something about that whole scene at the very beginning of the movie that I really liked. I think when I look at favourite parts of this movie, I think this is one, maybe it is the favourite part of the movie for me. It felt like a sort of anthology movie that wasn't Michael Myers centric, but it had Michael Myers in it by name, and you've just got introduced to these new characters. But we'll talk about that more later in this spoiler review. It then cuts to 3 years later, which is in 2022, the beginning being 2019, and Corey's now ostracised by the whole community. They all feel like he's the new Michael Myers. Everyone's blaming him for anything bad that happens, and anyone who comes in contact with him recognises him and they hate him straight away. And there's this bunch of kind of bully idiots from school that are a couple of years younger than Corey, because Corey at this point is 24 years old and these kids are maybe 17, 18, and they ask Corey to go into the shops and buy some beer for them, and he's like, no, I'm not buying you anything, and they start pushing him and making him cut himself, etc. by accident. And at that point in the film, I just felt so sorry for Corey, and I think we were supposed to feel sorry for him at this point because he was getting bullied. He accidentally killed someone a few years ago, and everybody just wants to point the blame at someone because they can't find Michael Myers. Nobody knows where Michael Myers went. So let's look at the young guy who's accidentally killed someone. You're the new evil. You're the new Michael Myers. The only people that feel sorry for Corey is Laurie Strode and Alison. When you look at Laurie Strode, this is something that didn't really annoy me because you need to progress in the movie. But Laurie has gotten over everything that's happened over the past few years. But the biggest issue I have with that is back in 1978, 3 of her friends were murdered. And then 40 years later, she couldn't let it go. Even though she knew Michael Myers was locked up, she knew where he was. She just couldn't let it go. And she built a cell. She built a cell in her cellar. And she just ruined her life. She ruined her daughter's life. But after her daughter got killed in 2018, Karen, Tommy, Marion get killed, Brackett get killed, and a whole bunch of other people get killed in 2018, and then Michael disappeared in 2018. She just kind of forgotten all about it 4 years later. So she's gotten over a lot more within 4 years than she did in 40 years. With a lot less. Alison works at the Haddonfield Memorial Hospital as a nurse, which I think is a nice touch, and she's got a friend in there, the redhead that you saw from the trailer. Both of them are going for a promotion at work, but the redhead woman gets the job. Who knows why? Well, we find out why, because Dr. Mathis is seeing that woman. She's his bit on the side. Alison feels sorry for Corey because she feels like they're both looked at the same way in the Haddonfield community. No, nobody really wants to talk to them. They're kind of outsiders. So she convinces Corey to come to a dress-up Halloween party with him, and he comes as this scarecrow. I love the mask, by the way. And he wears a scarecrow mask, and he looks like he's having fun, but at this point you're seeing that there's something not quite right with Corey. Although he's having fun, he just seems a little bit unhinged, and what kind of tops him off that night is he bumps into, unfortunately, the mother of the little boy he accidentally killed in 2019. And that just sends him over the edge, and he starts moaning at Alison, and he just leaves that party, only to be confronted again by these bullies from school. And he tries to defend himself this time because he felt like he's had enough. Enough is enough. But after defending himself, they throw him over the bridge not a high bridge, but he falls and they think he died and they ran away and drove away, sorry. And at this point, his body gets dragged in the sewer by someone or something. After waking up in the sewer, Corey's trying to figure out what happened to him. So he's walking about and all of a sudden Michael Myers is there and he chokes Corey. They both look into each other's eyes. Now, this is all metaphorically speaking. It's not physical, it's not supernatural, but metaphorically, they both look into each other's eyes. Michael sees the pain that Corey has went through, and at the same time, Corey sees the pure evil in Michael's eyes, and they both exchange that look to each other like, okay, I can see the evil in your eyes, and whereas Michael's saying to Corey, okay, I can see the pain in your eyes, I'll just let you go because I'll find someone else. But Corey gets out, Michael lets him go, probably the first person that Michael's decided, nah, you're okay, I'm not going to kill you. Corey gets out and there's a little homeless man standing there like, how are you out here? How did you survive that? Get back in there. So it seems like Michael has done this before. He's killed many people before over the past 4 years, and this little old man has witnessed it all. But the little old man's like, that's not acceptable. You get back in there and get killed. But then Corey accidentally kills this guy as well with a knife, albeit the little guy was trying to get Corey back in there. So he defended himself and killed the guy. But again, there's something building up inside Corey that wants to be let loose. There's a police officer in this movie that was seeing Alison a little bit and he's kind of infatuated with her, and he's Officer Milani. So he's part of, I'm guessing, the Milani family from back in the flashbacks in 1978. I don't quite understand the significance in that name. Why would they even put the name in there? Maybe they had an idea for something and scrapped it, and then they came up with this instead. But anyway, Officer Milani doesn't like Corey Cunningham and he follows Corey back to the sewers. But Corey knows he's following him, so he's luring him in there so that Michael can get a victim. But he's taking him there so that he can learn from Michael Myers. Now, you have to be kind of open-minded by this if you're going to accept this film. And he watches Michael kill someone and he's enjoying it. He's like, okay, this is how you kill someone. That's great. I want to do that as well. So you have to suspend your beliefs. You have to suspend your disbelief, of course, because it is a horror movie. But you also have to suspend your disbelief in the Halloween franchise, because this is doing something that no other Halloween movie in this timeline has done. So you have to open yourself up to this one. And if you open yourself up to it, maybe you'll accept it. But I'll be honest, I opened up to it because I was so invested in Corey. I was so intrigued by Corey Cunningham that I just couldn't help but watch and find out what he was going to do next. Corey decides to join Michael Myers on the killing spree, and the first victims that they join together is the redhead nurse and her boyfriend, Dr. Mathis. And I didn't think we were going to see this, but Corey kills Dr. Mathis. You see him stabbing him to bits. There is some scenes missing from the trailers, but that's fine. But he's killing this guy brutally with that scarecrow mask on, and the nurse gets away from him and he can't get into the house, and he's a little bit frustrated, and he watches Michael finish the job. And as he's watching Michael, he takes the bandage off himself and looks at his hand. And again, this is all metaphorically. He's not getting power from Michael. Michael's not getting power from him. He's just looking at his own hand thinking, how can Michael do something like this? I want to be able to do that. And Michael kills the nurse. And it's quite a brutal scene, but it's quite an important scene if you are getting behind what Corey is going to do next. Even after building up the courage to face Michael Myers and kill a couple of people as well, he's still getting harassed and bullied by people, and he thinks enough is enough. So he goes back to the sewers and takes Michael's mask off him. Now, this scene is a little bit cringy, but again, you have to run with it if you want to be invested in Corey. But he steals the mask from Michael Myers, and that causes Michael to get angry and go after Corey to get the mask, and that unintentionally lures Michael back to Haddonfield again. Corey himself then goes on his own killing spree. He kills his own mother. He then kills Diana, who I didn't know was in this movie. He then kills the DJ, which was quite a brutal scene because he cut his tongue off and his tongue goes onto the vinyl, and everyone in the whole town can hear the vinyl skipping. I thought that was quite a brutal scene. As well as that, he kills these 4 bullies that were annoying him all the way through the movie, and that was quite satisfying because you know that they were going to get it, and they all died in brutal fashion as well. But at this point, when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, do you know what, this is a really good film. You know, there's something about this film that's different, and I'm not missing Michael Myers. And I'm thinking to myself, are you crazy? This is not a Michael Myers movie, this is a Corey Cunningham movie, but you're enjoying it. So I thought, okay, let's run with it and see what happens. Now, because Michael was unintentionally lured back to Haddonfield, he also sees Alison and Laurie Strode. He finds out where they live because he's after Corey at this point because he wants his mask back, but he sees Alison and Laurie, so he knows where they live as well. Now, this is where, it's not a twist to be honest, but this is where things start to change and the story starts to change from the one interesting story to the more uninteresting story that features Michael Myers, unfortunately. Now, Corey is stalking Laurie Strode, and Laurie knows it, so she pretends that she's going to commit suicide and phones 911 to say there's a suicide, and she fires a shot, and then Corey walks in to think, have you killed yourself? I was going to kill you instead. Only to see that Laurie was only kidding on, and then she tries to injure Corey. I don't know what she was trying to do, but he almost died, and she's like, this is what you become. Alison's not going to go with you. And he's like, well, if Alison can't have me, and he looks like he kills himself. And at that point I thought, no, I've invested in this character only for you to kill this character off. And I was very disappointed. And then Alison walks in and sees that it looks like Laurie has killed Corey, when in actual fact Corey done it to himself, and Alison runs away and drives away. And this is the point where Michael comes in and takes the mask and thinks, this is my turn. But Corey was still alive, and when I saw that Corey was still alive, I thought, okay, maybe he'll survive, but then unfortunately Michael kills him. I don't think he's coming back from that, unfortunately. But then Laurie gets then stalked by Michael Myers. And at this point I'm like, okay, this is the finale now, and Michael is just back. We don't have time for this to be a Michael Myers movie. We already were invested in this Corey Cunningham movie, but at the end of the day, it is Halloween and it is a Michael Myers movie, so hopefully we see that epic finale. And unfortunately we didn't get that epic finale, because what you saw in the trailers and what you saw in the couple of clips that we saw online, that was it. That was the finale. Now, there was something after it that we'll talk about, but Alison comes back to help Laurie defeat Michael Myers once and for all, and they kind of tamely kill Michael. Not like what you saw in Halloween H2O, nothing like that, but they tamely kill Michael Myers, sort of in a kind of humane way. But just to be certain, Laurie, Alison, and the whole town of Haddonfield take Michael Myers to the junkyard where Corey and his dad worked, and they put him in the compactor and they completely mutilate his body till there's nothing left. Now, if the finale took place in or around this compactor machine and then Michael Myers got tossed in when he was alive, I think the ending would have more of an impact. But he was already dead when they carried his body into the compactor and put him in, and at that point I thought, he's dead anyway, put him in all you want. It has no effect on me whatsoever as the viewer. Now, after that, Laurie goes back to her memoirs, and she's still writing her memoirs, and she does allude to there being another movie even in this timeline, because she does say that evil comes in all shapes and sizes, meaning that it doesn't have to be just Michael Myers that's pure evil. If you look at Corey Cunningham, who was also pure evil when she looked into his eyes, unfortunately he died as well, but there is potential for more people like Corey and Michael to be out there and come into future Halloween movies in this timeline. So just with the Sartain twist that we got in Halloween 2018, we get that same vibe with Corey Cunningham in this one, only this time it takes up most of the movie, and it's something that we saw coming, and it's something that was built up as well. So I think me personally can accept something like that because we saw it coming and it comes to fruition as well. Now, if you look back in Halloween 4 where Jamie killed her own mother and we don't see the effects of that afterwards, we see the effects in this one because Corey becomes evil just like Jamie in Halloween 4, and he kills his mother just like Jamie in Halloween 4, but this time we see what happens after it. So they had the balls to do something like that, and it's something that I enjoyed, and I loved the Corey character right up until the point where he got killed, and I thought, why kill Corey when you built him up to be the next Michael Myers? I know that they want to finish this timeline, but if you want to leave it open for another killer, why not Corey? Because he was the great blueprint for the next killer. The opening of Halloween Ends was fantastic. I think it was one of the best openings, and it didn't even feature Michael Myers. It felt like it could be the start of a great anthology movie. If this wasn't a Halloween movie and it was a Halloween anthology movie, this would be the perfect start for a Halloween anthology, giving us a new killer in Corey Cunningham, giving us the effects that we got with that little boy getting killed. It was brutal, but it would have been great, a great start to an anthology series leading up to another Michael Myers movie, but they kind of missed the boat because they were too greedy. They wanted to give us two stories in one. They wanted to give us the anthology style Corey Cunningham story, but they also wanted to give us the Michael Myers story. The only problem we had with this was the Corey Cunningham story took front and centre, whereas the Michael Myers story was put on the back burner until the finale, and the finale was so weak and short that I wanted more Corey Cunningham. I think the movie would have been better if they didn't kill off Corey, if they just saw him maybe at the end going and breathing and then cutting off. I think that would have been a more satisfying end for me and other people who might have liked Corey. If you don't like Corey at all, then you probably wouldn't care if he lived or died, like the Sartain character. But for me, I was invested in Corey, so if he survived, I think I would have liked the movie better. There was some nice nods to the previous movies and the original without bashing you over the head like they did in 2018 and Halloween Kills. Some nods like they watched The Thing on TV at the beginning. Obviously that's a John Carpenter movie. And also, if Corey didn't kill the little boy at the start, he probably would have maybe got a job in a call centre, which isn't great. I think it was a call centre or an IT centre with Devon. They mentioned a character called Devon.
Well, I just might have to send him back to the call centre to work for Devon if you can't give him proper supervision.
I'm guessing that's Devon Graham, who was mentioned in the original Halloween. Other than that, there's just some subtle nods and nothing bashed you over the head like they did in the first two movies in the David Gordon Green trilogy. Overall, guys, I think it was an okay movie. Not great, not bad. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but if this wasn't a Michael Myers movie, I think I would have liked it more. The fact that Michael Myers was in it made me like it even less, and that is a strange thing to say, especially for a movie that's supposed to be the epic finale of this Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, David Gordon Green trilogy. So that's all the juicy spoilers for Halloween Ends, guys. If I've missed anything, leave the comments down below, let me know what I've missed. I've only seen it once so far, I will watch it again online. So leave your comments down below anyway, guys. Let me know what you think of the movie. Let me know what you think of Corey Cunningham as a character. Would you have liked to seen him survive? Anything you want to talk about, let me know down below and we can start a discussion. And as always, guys, thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for subscribing and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.